Okay, this video, the night before the final round of the Rocket Mortgage 2023, Rickie Fowler in the lead. So let's see what happens. He doesn't do well typically with a 54-hole lead, but we're rooting for him to do well, get a win tomorrow. Let's see what happens. So what looks different now than a couple years ago? Well, number one, he is not drifting off the ball in the backswing. So he is turning, staying right in there, and not moving this direction or overloading his right side that he was doing a couple seasons ago. He's now staying in the middle, keeping more pressure on his front foot, which makes it much easier to keep the club on plane coming through impact. Now, granted, he's not on plane through impact, but he's less off plane than he used to be when he was overloading going this way. So now when he comes back through, he's already getting a better weight transfer, which gives you a much better chance to not lose balls to the right and left with that inside out approach. And so there he is in good position, moving that weight to the front leg to where he can really trap it and get a good strike on the ball. Once again, not getting that drastic inside out approach, which causes the pushes and hooks. From this angle here, we can see range session, obviously working the club up the plane beautifully, which he does all the time with the club angles are always great going back, perfect position at the top. As he transitions, obviously steeper than a lot of players, doesn't get right on that plane, doesn't drop down like you see a lot of players that get lower. He actually stays up and to some degree moves away from the ball slightly or back this way. And then that's going to keep the club in front of the plane, which is good. So he doesn't get a crazy inside out approach, which is great. But as you'll see, the handle is quite high there. And if we look at some other clips here in a second from the Rocket Mortgage, we'll see that handle likes to really get up in the air. The harder he swings, the more speed he creates when he's on the golf course. And that can be a problem because the more the club's tracking this way instead of this way to the left, that club face is going to start to flip over hard. And he had some trouble the last round of the U.S. Open controlling those irons, and that's why you get that club working off the plane, hands high at impact. That face rotates. Hard to control. If you're a little inside out with the driver coming this way, you can still pipe the driver all day long, but those irons will not obey you quite as well, especially in terms of solid contact. Now, a couple clips from the Rocket Mortgage Saturday. We can see here, get the club up the plane beautifully with that wedge. It's a sand wedge shot in here. I'm going to tell exactly where that camera angle is, but certainly footwork is good. Club planing out pretty well there. Not a lot of face rollover. It doesn't look like on the way through. Can't see it exactly. But good angles there. Should control that wedge nicely. And now let's take a look at a driver and really take a look at some of the footwork. Okay, driver swing right down the line. Camera angle might be a little high up, but we can see a lot of good angles here. So we're going to look at this left foot, see what it does. So he loads that thing up the plane beautifully. Love where he is here. Like I said, as he loads and sits down to create more force, we like that move. But unlike some other players who are a little more rotated early, he stays square longer or shut rather longer with their shoulders and hips. Hips just don't get as open as some players. And there's that club working way off the plane. Out down the line, and that's going to be a lot of face rotation there. Now, once again, when you're trying to hit, depends what you're trying to hit here, but if you're trying to hit draws, certainly you can hit draws all day long with that type of a swing. As good as he is, he can hit whatever he wants, but primarily with a driver and getting that thing planing out, coming in, inside this direction. That with the face rotating hard, easy to control a draw. If you watch the footwork, there's a lot of movement going on there. And the harder he swings, the more it moves. Once it pulls back to the left there, it is going to increase the shallow effect coming through impact, which is okay for driver. We'll see what happens with the irons tomorrow. We'll see, can he keep it going? Can he get that rhythm good and keep that club on plane or the face rotating at the right time to get some solid iron hits? Hopefully he does, and he can bring home the victory tomorrow. Okay, last clip, on-course iron shot, more power, more speed, a little more going on with the footwork. More dancing around than we saw in the driving range. And when that happens, if he raises up, hips stall out a little, and the arms are even farther off the plane this way, which means you'll get more rollover with the arms, more face rotation. When you're in rhythm like he is, really doesn't matter. Just going to have a beautiful strike when you're in rhythm. Once again, it's the third round. We'll see what happens tomorrow if he is in rhythm, good to go. Let's see him bring it home. He's putting great. Gets out of rhythm, things change. Maybe his mind wanders. We're not sure what happens there on Sundays for him, but hopefully he'll keep it in rhythm, get that club timing out beautifully through impact, and keep these awesome iron shots going. We are rooting for him tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.